$1 billion ballroom. I will never understand how people still think Donald Trump and the Republicans are for them, that they care about them because they want to spend 1 billion taxpayer dollars on Trump's ballroom that wasn't supposed to cost the taxpayers anything. Originally, it was going to be funded by donors from, corporations and billionaires, but no. Then it went, oh, we might need about $300 million for it. And then it was, no, it might be $400 million. And last night the Republicans go, oh, we want $1 billion. No ballroom is worth $1 billion. No security bunker is worth $1 billion. And by the way, there was already a bunker there. He didn't need to tear down the east wing of the White House to do any of this. Could he have expanded? Yes. Could he have changed and upgraded things like the existing bunker? Absolutely. Presidents have done that all the time. But no. You still think your orange daddy, Cankle Jesus over there, is for the average, everyday working person.
These are new images of the rapid construction of President Trump's White House ballroom. But tonight, Democrats are accusing the administration of a bait and switch after congressional Republicans released a new funding bill earmarking $1 billion for security improvements tied to the project.
They destroyed the east wing of the White House without any notice or consent in the dead of night. And then they told the American people that it was going to be paid for with private dollars. This has been a story of corruption.
The president had been saying for months private donations would pay for it.
And we're giving them, myself and donors are giving them free of charge for nothing. We did this no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. This is being financed privately.
The White House now insists that taxpayer money would only go to secure portions of the facility and that private donors would still pay for the actual ballroom. The president previously estimated the 90,000 square foot structure would cost $400 million. In a court filing last month, the Trump administration wrote it'd be built with materials to withstand drone attacks and also include underground medical facilities and a bomb shelter. With the suspect now charged with trying to assassinate the president at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Trump has argued a large secure event space is critical.
We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it.
He don't need to be talking about ballrooms, man. You need to be trying to fix the economy.
What do you make of the request for a ballroom right now?
A ballroom is kind of insufficient right now. You got to understand that there's people out here suffering. There's people out here struggling. There's no food. We can't really survive out here.
I think there's a lot of things we need to work on before we're doing a ballroom reconstruction, so I think it's a little ridiculous to me.
I think he's selfish. I think he wants something to be in his name, but I think, like she said, there's so much going on right now. I think that's the last thing that we should be worrying about.
Maybe we ought to get our priorities straight. Put stuff that is beneficial to the country first and other stuff second.
Do we need a ballroom? Not necessarily. I feel like our funds could go to other places. But, ultimately that's out of my control sometimes.
Where did the money go for the ballroom? Where did it go? You said you had private funding. Just last summer, you said the same ballroom, same dimension, same location was $250 million, and you had secured all the private funding that you needed. From Meta, you got it from Apple, you got it from 37 different private organizations and individuals. Amazon, Google, these are all the biggest names, biggest corporations donating money. Plenty of money to get started. Lockheed Martin, for some reason. The money was secured, the site was demolished, and construction was beginning based on a budget that was already funded by Coinbase and Palantir and T-Mobile and Ripple and Hard Rock International, Tether America. I don't even know what these places are, but they gave you money. Where did it go? Why is Senator Lindsey Graham asking for $400 million of our money for a project that's already funded? Why is the DOJ intervening to stop a lawsuit that's halting the construction of a project with no money? apparently. Todd Blanche is petitioning the people bringing a lawsuit that's halting the construction of the ballroom. Why? There's no money, according to you. It just disappeared. Also, why would the lawsuit need to be brought if the project has no budget? It's $400 million and it's exactly $400 million short. The lawsuit is superfluous. And if you need $400 million to build a ballroom, why couldn't the guy affected most by it, the guy who wants it the most, who's profited $4 billion since taking office last year, give exactly 1/10 of that, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things, to build this ballroom that he says he needs? Why does it have to be our money? I mean, this is our money, but why does he need 400 million more of our money? Remember that board of peace Donald Trump started with $10 billion of our money? $10 billion for a board of peace weeks before he started a global war? Maybe you can take the 400 million out of this $10 billion that seems to be going absolutely nowhere. Or maybe out of this $10 billion that Donald Trump is hoping to get from us as well. A $10 billion settlement from when somebody wanted to look at his taxes and he didn't like it. Well, that's a lot more than 400 million. Maybe you can come out of there. $75 million for a Melania movie, with roughly 28 million of it going directly into Melania Trump's pocket. Maybe she could give a little bit. No. How about Eric Trump, whose robotics company just got $24 million from the Pentagon to build robotics or something for the war that his dad just started? That's really convenient. It's all got to come from us, right? But as I recall, you already had the money from all of these donors. So before we give you another $400 million on top of the $10 billion for your Board of Peace, on top of the $10 billion for your IRS settlement, on top of all the money that you're getting in contracts for your children, where did that money go?
I don't know what it is with Trump in this ballroom, but he's building it, and I think I know why. Originally, he said it would cost $200 million and would be financed by private donors. Then the price tag doubled to $400 million, which he said would still be paid for by private donors. Then yesterday, Republicans in the Senate pushed a bill that would allocate $1 billion of taxpayer money to go toward this project. Oh, you're against it? I'm shocked. I thought you were all for it. According to the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, the money would be used for security features only, not for the ballroom itself. And the White House, of course, disagrees with that. After saying he and his teat sucklers would pay for it personally, Team Trump now wants us to foot the bill, which is now 5 times what he said it would be. $1 billion for a ballroom.
They are laundering money through the construction of this ballroom. And the taxpayers are about to be asked to clean it up. It does not surprise me that Congress is trying to use taxpayer money to help fund this ballroom. It does not surprise me that the president told everybody that he got all of these donations, okay? He told everybody that it would not cost the American people a thing. He had all of these friends. He literally said, all of these friends want to help me construct this ballroom as a gift to the American people and future presidents. Those were his exact words. And now we've gotten to the point where taxpayers are being asked to pay for this ballroom. But more importantly than that, the original price point was $250 million. $250 million was where we started when this project was brought up last year. Just a week ago, after the whatever took place at the Hilton, now they're talking about $400 million. And lo and behold, somehow, some way, through this legislation coming through Congress, it's up to $1 billion now. This is what money laundering looks like. It is very difficult to pin down the exact cost of any construction project, okay? That's just par for the course. And so, plenty of people who like to do nefarious things with their money use construction as a way to clean it. Go watch The Ozarks. Go watch The Sopranos. Go watch The Wire. Go watch every single TV show that millennials have been brought up on, dealing with crime, dealing with politics, dealing with intrigue, dealing with shady ways that people deal with their money. That's like half of the television shows that exist. This is money laundering. And I'm willing to bet the price is going to go up. I promise you they're going to be talking about 1.5 billion at some point, 2 billion at some point. It will never, ever, ever go back to the original price point of $250 million because it was never meant to. They are using this ballroom as a way to clean money, as a way to get money into the pockets of certain people and bypass all of the procedures and the laws and the checkpoints that you have to go through when money changes hands, specifically dealing with someone like the President of the United States. We are watching an episode of Sopranos play out right in front of us. That's what's happening with this ballroom. They are laundering money.
I said, I built all these swimming pools, and they're phenomenal. So I have some very good contractors. I think that I'd like to recommend a color. It's called American Flag Blue. I said, that's the color I want. As you know, on June 14th, we're having a big fight. A lot of people haven't seen this yet. This will be the greatest show on earth. Is at night.
Is that like the fucking St.
That's all
Louis
lighting
Arch?
and cover. I was in a position being a builder and having built many ballrooms and many other things. I'm good at ballrooms. That's the entrance to the new ballroom that's being built, which everybody likes, especially since last Saturday evening. They like it even more because it'll have a thing called security.
Those were all just this week. Just this week. Yeah. As the war has erupted again and they're trying to get a ceasefire and gas is going through the roof. That was all this week in his remarks. Now he's tossing the anchor at Republicans in Congress who are stunningly about to vote on whether to spend $1 billion, our dollars, taxpayer dollars, on Donald Trump's ballroom, which they are claiming is necessary for security reasons. Do you think Republicans running in competitive races are excited about signing their own political death warrants?
This is the most insane thing I have ever seen a party do in an election year. They don't have to do this. Like, they chose to do this. They volunteered to do it. And at a time in which they've already voted to close rural hospitals, they've already voted to kick people off their health care, they've voted to kick people off their food assistance, they've said we don't have money for education or childcare or anything else, but we have $1 billion for a fancy ballroom where Trump can wine and dine the Epstein class. It's like, this is like a stimulus program for political ad makers. Like, it is insane. I hope they vote today.
Donald Trump remains laser focused on building a fancy ballroom to host his fancy balls. And from the beginning, when he just bulldozed the historic East Wing of the White House, just without ever getting any permission from anyone to do such a thing, Trump has assured everybody that, like the border wall Mexico is going to pay for, this would cost exactly $0 taxpayer dollars.
You see that area? Yeah. That is going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world, and I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it. These are all private individuals that put up a lot of money to build the ballroom. Not one penny is being used from the federal government. Myself and donors are giving them free of charge for nothing. We're donating a building.
Okay, so I'm paying for it, then donors are paying for it, free of charge, no money whatsoever. We're going to donate it. Well, prepare yourself because you're not going to believe this. But that's all BS, and you are the donors. Republicans announced that they are proposing $1 billion of taxpayer money for his ballroom. One of those earmarks tucked into a reconciliation bill that they are rushing through right now and can pass without any votes from Democrats. $1 billion of public money for a ballroom no one wanted, that Trump did not campaign on, that no one even thought was necessary, that Trump said would cost $200 million and $0 public dollars, and is now $1 billion of your dollars. What a deal for the American people.
Building a ballroom at the White House will cost $1 billion, that's with a B, and they want you, the taxpayer, to pay for it. For more than a year now, the president has said all along that private donors would cover the full cost of this project.
From above, the construction site for the ballroom looks larger than the White House itself, and the 90,000 square foot project now has a new additional price tag, $1 billion. Senate Republicans included the funds as part of a broader immigration enforcement bill. The taxpayer funds would go towards the East Wing modernization project, including unspecified above-ground and below-ground security features.
It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass.
President Trump suggested those upgrades are more urgent after the alleged assassination attempt 10 days ago at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it.
But the Senate bill says the $1 billion can't pay for, quote, non-security elements, like the actual ballroom itself, which the president repeatedly has promised he's building with private donations.
I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it. This is being financed privately. It's a donation. It's all donors. There's not one dime of government money going into the ballroom.
Still, Democrats balked even before the $1 billion price tag.
No, we don't need this ballroom. You want to help national security? The ballroom has nothing to do with it.
And President Trump promised that this ballroom, which I don't think is necessary, by the way, but he said it'd be privately funded. Now we learn that Republicans are trying to sneak in $1 billion of taxpayer money to fund the ballroom. I don't know why. Maybe they weren't able to raise the amount of private money that they needed. They're making a security argument, but the security needs haven't changed since the incident at the White House Correspondents' Center. We knew that if he's going to build this facility, it needed to be secure before that incident. We know that afterwards. Presumably that private funding was supposed to fund the fact that it needs to be a secure facility. I think as families in Virginia and across the country, across our region, are struggling with sky-high gas prices, rising grocery costs, rising housing costs, the idea that Republicans here are trying to take $1 billion of tax money after they cut $1 trillion from health care, put it into building a golden ballroom is insulting to hardworking American families struggling to make ends meet.
We absolutely believe that there is no better example of why this ballroom is necessary, aside from all the very positive things the ballroom will bring to this country and to Washington, D.C., than what happened on Saturday night. You guys, many of you all were there. That's one of the only places in D.C. that you can hold an event like that due to its size and the structure of what we need. So we're basically stuck at this point in this city with having an event like that at a hotel, so underneath a ton of hotel rooms. And so the fact that we, aside from the fact that the ballroom is spectacular, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to make this country look great every time it's used, it's also a meaningful safety issue. And so I very much wish that the plaintiffs and their counsel would take a different view, but if they don't, we are going to continue to fight in court like we have been, and hopefully the judges at the D.C. Circuit Court will do the right thing.
These ballroom Republicans are choosing Trump's chandelier over your child care, Trump's ego over your electric bill, Trump's palace over the people's priorities. Did everyone hear that alliteration? Americans want relief. Americans are answering and saying, give us relief. But the Republicans just say, we were going to give you a ballroom. That's not leadership. That's Versailles economics, brought to you by the ballroom Republicans. Democrats will fight this bill tooth and nail. We're already filing bird rule challenges. We'll offer amendments, and we'll force Republicans to vote again and again on one simple question. Are you with working families, or are you with Trump's ballroom? Americans don't want a ballroom blitz. They want Congress to bring the cost down.